All right, so now beginning in the 6th chapter, we're going to begin opening the seals. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and heard, as it were, the noise of thunder. You'll hear some of these phenomena in heaven each time a seal is opened. And one of the four beasts saying, "Come and see." I want you to notice now the first four beasts seem to control the first four seals. So one of the four beasts, and remember once again, that's just representing a portion of the church, says, "Come and see." And John is going to see now what's going to take place down here on the earth. He said, "And I saw, and behold, a white horse." And the white horse signifies power. "And he that sat on him, and he had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer." You want to know who that is? Well, that's the devil himself in a man that is coming to be known as the beast. He will incarnate himself in that man in the time to come. Not yet. But at any rate, God will use that man. And who is the beast? We don't know. He will not be known until the last half of the tribulation. And that time he will be revealed. Remember in 2 Thessalonians, he said we won't know until the son of perdition is revealed. Well, he isn't revealed yet, but I can tell you right now, he's alive and well right now. I don't know who he is. I just know where he's got to come from. He will be a Roman Jew. He will come from Rome. When I say Rome, I mean the Roman Empire, not necessarily the city of Rome. The Roman Empire that fell apart way back there will be restored again in the tribulation period, and he will be a Roman Jew. Remember, Jesus said to his disciples when they were showing him the buildings of the temple, said there'll be a day coming when there won't be a stone left on a stone that'll not be torn down. Well, that happened in 70 A.D. when Titus and his army marched in and destroyed the city and took over at that time. And Daniel tells you the people of the prince that shall come, or the prince rather of the people that shall come, shall destroy the people. Now, it's the people that's going to destroy the temple. But the prince that shall come, that's the devil, or the beast rather, that the devil will incarnate himself in, will be of that people. So he has to be a Roman. And of course, he's going to make the Jews believe that he's their Messiah, and they'll make a covenant with him for 1 week, that is 7 years, and thinking that he's their Messiah. But in the middle of that week period, or 7 years, 3.5 years after it starts, he will show his true colors, and they'll find out that instead of being their Messiah, he is the beast himself. And they will at that time turn back to God and make their peace with God, and he will bring them back in his favor, preserve them for the last half of the tribulation. We'll get to that as we go along. But I just want you to know who this one is that sits on the throne. He is the man that will be revealed as the beast. But he comes in now as a man on a white throne. White, of course, represents cleanness, purity. And so he comes in representing himself to be the Messiah to Israel, and Israel is going to accept him. Now he's going to, as he goes forth, he went forth to conquering and to conquer. Back in the book of Daniel, he tells you that he is going to make it by flattery. He'll take the power by flattery. He will become the king of this world. He will become the supreme ruler of this world. And he gets it now by flatteries, not by great battles, but by flatteries. He just comes in gradually showing himself a little more and a little more. This is the beginning of the tribulation now, and the church is gone. And those people that are affected by this are those that missed the rapture, left here on the earth. All right? Now, that is the first seal. He comes conquering and to conquer, and becomes known worldwide as that man of peace, that man that can govern and control the world. All right, the second seal. When he opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, "Come and see." And there went out another horse that was red. Now, this is the same rider, but a different horse this time. And instead of being white, signifying the purity and the power, this is a red horse now. He that sat on him had a bow. Oh, wait a minute. The power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. Now, an international warfare, a universal war. You talk about a world war, World War I, they said, that was not completely a world war. World War II was not completely a world war because there was parts of the world wasn't at war. There were still some parts at peace, but this is going to be a universal war. And every part of the world that is left at that time will be involved in this. Take peace from the earth. They should kill one another, given unto him a great sword, representing, of course, warfare. All right? Now, when he opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see, and I beheld, and lo, a black horse. Now, the same rider, but a different kind of horse this time. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. You know what balances are? You remember the old-fashioned scales? It was a balance. You wanted a pound of sugar when you went to the grocery store? Well, they put a pound weight over on this side. They had a scoop setting on this side. And they just poured the sugar in until it balanced. When it balanced, you had a pound. Well, that's the balance he's talking about. And it just represents things going out in small portions. In other words, this is famine. Famine on the earth. Take peace from the earth, and warfare all over, and consequently, famine. Now, you just remember, the drought that we had this summer lasted, what, something like 3 months, or a little less than 3 months? And you go to pay for that in the grocery store before this winter's over. There's already some shortages showing up, and some of the corn that the farmers did get, they find it to be contaminated, and they can't feed it to their stock, because if they did, when we ate the meat, then it would contaminate us. And so this is what's going to happen over there. A great famine is going to take place. All right, how bad is it going to be? I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts saying, a measure of wheat for a penny, 3 measures of barley for a penny. See that thou hurt not the oil and the wine. And instead of going down to the store and buying a bushel of potatoes, you'll get just 2 or 3 ounces. A great famine. Food will be rationed. Some of you remember back to World War II, the ration. You remember the red stamps and the blue stamps? Mm-hmm. I think I may have some of those around my house yet. Mm-hmm. White stamps for shoes. You couldn't buy a pair of shoes unless you had a stamp. You couldn't buy meat unless you had a red stamp. Meat, fats, unless you had a red stamp. You couldn't buy any vegetable unless you had the green or blue. Which was blue, I guess. All right? Well, that's the way it was back there. Now, I used to have favor in the store where I would deal, and there were certain things you couldn't buy at all. So I'd go in the store, I'd get my cart, and I'd walk around. One of the clerks would come up to me and just whisper, what do you want, Reverend? I'd tell him what I wanted, things that went out on the shelf. They'd just go back in the back room, get it, put it in a brown paper sack, and mark a price on it, come put it in my basket. Nobody'd know what I had. The Lord blessed us to get by very easily during that period of time. But this is what we talk about now, a great famine in that day. All right? And now, that's the third seal. When he'd opened the fourth seal, I heard the fourth beast say, come and see. I looked, and behold, a pale horse. Now, this is the same man on a different color horse this time. His name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed after him, and power was given unto him over the fourth part of the earth to kill with the sword, with hunger, with death, with the beasts of the earth. Just look at this now. With the warfare, that's the sword. With hunger, that's because of the famine. With death, no matter how it comes, and even the beasts of the field are going mad and going to kill men. Just think about it. You talk about the pit bulls that are giving us some trouble now in these days. What will it be like when all the beasts of the field turn wild and turn on men? You want to be here then? No. All right? And how many is going to be slain in this time? Just 1 out of every 4. 1 out of every 4. Just think about it now from this standpoint. In a normal city block, let's see, there'll be, what, about 8 houses in a city block? Well, when they get through with this, 2 of them will be empty.